Welcome to the future of education. And now, here's your host, Michael Horn.
Welcome to the future of education. I'm Michael Horn, and you're joining the show where we are dedicated to creating a world in which all individuals can build their passions, fulfill their potential, and live lives of purpose. And to help us think through how we get there today, I'm delighted. We have Lukas Barwinski-Brown. He's the CEO of the Long Long International Music Foundation. If folks don't know, in my humble opinion, Long Long is the greatest living pianist at the moment. And Lukas leads the foundation, and it is just a thrill to have you. Lukas, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very, very honored and very happy.
Well, I am delighted as well. As listeners know, I was an aspiring pianist at one point, so I love highlighting music education. Before we get into the work of the foundation, I would just love to hear about your own personal journey to the work. How does one get to become president of the Long Long International Music Foundation? Not that this former pianist is jealous or anything like that, but I would just love to hear about your journey.
Yeah, the journey was practically my life journey is very, very full of surprise and very unexpected, to be honest. And the same way I totally unexpected. I landed here in the USA. And everything has started, I think, I will say, around 25 years ago when I met Lang Lang and as a head of Universal Music in Austria. So I was running Universal Music in Austria, classic and jazz. And I met this young guy. Nobody know him. He was like, this was not the Lang Lang from today. This was really a different Lang Lang, very young, very unexperienced. And we became really a very close friends. And this friendship practically was cherished, for many, many years. And one day, I never forget this. This was my birthday, and he came to celebrate my birthday with his mom in Vienna. And she was all the time, half of the dinner, he was talking with his mom in Chinese and using all the time my name. Yes, I was like, what the hell is going on? What are you talking about? And he said, please, can you come to New York and run my foundation? And this was this was my reaction. Exactly. Wow. And we spoken very, very often about the foundation before. And I was always pushing him to do the foundation because I think and I believe that the foundation can be really his very big legacy. And, and then unexpected, he asked me to run this. And as crazy as I am, I quit my job, I sold my house, and I moved over the ocean and came to New York, and without no experience and not knowing really what I am going to do. And then I decided to exactly create this foundation together with him so that everybody will understand what we are doing. Especially I will understand what I am doing. And this is how this was the beginning. And this is already 15 years ago.
Unbelievable. So I want to get into the work itself. It's obviously very authentic to who you are, to who Long Long is, to who his wife is, I might add. Professionally, the quote that you all have is, we believe that all children should have access to music and music education, regardless of their background or circumstances. You all work across geographies, though. We'll talk about the US perhaps in a moment, but also Europe, China. So tell us about the nature of the work of the foundation itself.
Yeah, the mission is not only the slogan. It is exactly what we believe, and we believe practically, and we are working on this, and we believe every day, and we believe that music education is really very important in children's lives, and also this is what I try to emphasize. That music and learning music and music education is not just the hobby. It is not that we are teaching those kids how to play piano or how to sing or how to play guitar. We believe, and this also scientists already proved, the children who are exposed to music and music education, the brain is totally different construed than the children who are not. And so saying that those kids who are in our programs, and we believe that we prepare them for the better academically life. And as probably you know, our programs are in very disadvantaged neighborhoods, and we are going to those who need those programs. So saying that, we believe that we kind of like we are opening a better path for the future for those kids to finish the school and to go to the colleges and to make the better education for them.
Yeah, and I love this, not only changing the brain, but also developing, executive function skills, et cetera, right, through music that pervades the rest of their life. Is the foundation, is the work that you do in these communities, is it you giving grants to music educators, or is it you all running specific programs? How does it work on the ground?
The grants will be the easiest way, and we don't like the easy way. We created programs, and the two main programs are practically addressed to totally two different groups of people. The one is the education program, which we call Keys of Inspiration, and this program is supporting the public Title I schools across the country. And the second program is kind of like 180 degrees on the other side, is the Young Scholars program, in which we are supporting the super talented kids. I am always saying, those 10, 11, 12 years old who practically can play already with the orchestra at the Carnegie Hall. So, so those two diametrically different programs, practically are covered at 360 degrees, because here you have the kids in needs, and here you have those talented, and both groups are really very important for us. So answering your question, no, we are not giving grants in either of these programs. So what we are doing, for example, for the Keys of Inspiration, it is also the most expensive program in the foundation. We are bringing to the school a piano lab. So when I create this program, I was thinking, how is this possible that the entire class of 30 kids can learn piano? Piano usually is one-to-one, is one professor, one kid. Otherwise, the professor will make the suicide after, 10 minutes of everybody are bumping on the pianos, right? So I was like thinking, how is this possible? What can we do? How is this? Because we cannot, of course, making this one-to-one piano lessons in the public schools. So I was thinking how I learn languages. I was going to the language labs, and everybody, the entire class was sitting with the headphones, and they were learning the language. And they said, this can be exactly the same way with the piano. And I contacted Roland, the very, very, fantastic piano producer. And we were discussing this, and they said, yeah, this is a fantastic idea. Why we are not doing this? We can build a piano lab where 30 kids are sitting front of the keyboards, and everyone has own, and they are connected to each other. They have the headphones, and they can play. And this will be exactly the one class get the piano lessons in 1 hour. And this is how we created practically the Keys of Inspiration. And when we are supporting the schools, we are bringing the keyboards, we are bringing the headphones, we are bringing the benches and learning materials and books, etc., etc. We are giving also the support for the teachers, and we are making the teacher training. And I think the biggest difference between us and, Michael, everybody in America has a foundation, right? So there are millions of foundations. But the biggest difference between us and those millions is that we are in the curriculum of every school. So we are not after school program. We are not preschool program or Sunday school program. We are exactly taking seriously as math, science, or history. So this is the let's say the spending what we are investing in the school. And one of my coworker, he made a calculation, which I never did it, and maybe this will be interesting for you. So Dan, who is also a teacher in one of our schools in Boston, he said, did you think how much value you are bringing to the community with your piano lessons? And I said, I hope a lot, but I never make any calculation, right? So he said to me, listen, average cost of the piano lesson is like around $50, right? So when you are going to get the piano lessons, you are paying probably $50. And so in the public schools, they have a 36 weeks of instruction, right? So average in our school, let's say today, because of course we are progressing. So in the few years, the entire school is learning the program. But let's say we are taking the first 3 years of the program. We are talking about 400 students, right? So he made the calculation and he said, okay, $50 to 36 weeks, 400 students, it brings you to over $600,000. So this is the value which we as a foundation are bringing to the community, to the school community. And of course, we can make this even further. And when we say we have now 100 schools, and there's, the $60 is almost like $60 million annually, what we are bringing practically back to the community. So this is the value of that program. And so this is how our grants are working. And the same is with the young scholars. The young scholars, we are taking those kids and we help them to develop their artistry, because of course they are in the fantastic schools. They have fantastic piano teacher. But yesterday, for example, I spent the entire day, watching the master classes, which we organized here in New York. So, we are sending them to the festival, to the competitions. We have created a piano academies in Beijing, in Cleveland, and in Cambridge, where we are sending all those kids and to make the exchange with the best professors of piano, which you can get it. So this is the money where we are spending. We are not giving the $500 in the hand and say what you want, but I think this is much more important.
Yeah, so there's a number. I'm buzzing with numbers of questions right now, but I want to stay with the let's do the Young Scholars Program first. It's interesting to me because when I was in middle school, I competed in an international Chinese music competition, and there was a young Chinese woman who blew us all away in the competition. And then I remember my grandparents being so blown away by her that they sponsored her to come to America and study at Juilliard through the rest of the time. And so I have a lot of excitement, I guess, or for what you're doing for these people. Are these individuals, when you identify these young scholars, these talented people, are they from the same demographic as the Keys for Inspiration, or is it anyone when you find these people and send them to these incredible academies?
Yeah, it is open for entire world. So every 3 years now I extended. This was before it was 2 years. Now I extended to the third year. So every 3 years we are opening the application process practically for everyone who is not older than 16, 17 years old can apply. And you are sending the two videos. The one video is where you are playing, and the one video is when you are talking. So we want to know also, your personality, and then we have a gremium from very esteemed professors, like, we have professors from Juilliard here in America and Cleveland Institute of Music. We have professors from Central Conservatory of Music in Beijing. We have professors from Royal College of Music in London. So those professors, they are practically selecting the finalists, and now we have created also like 3 hubs, which we have the Asian students, like China, Japan, Korea. Then when we are doing with them, then we have the European, and they heard like rest of the world we have here in the States. And this is something what makes me very, very proud, because like when I know those kids when they were 10, and we have a lot of alumni, and now I see that the guy is 20 and play with the orchestra and then winning the festivals, and next week one of my really, really like son, he's calling me dad, Clayton Stevenson. He's getting the medal of excellence in Washington D.C. So this makes you so proud, and they are finishing Curtis and Juilliard and Harvard and Columbia's, and playing all over the places, and it is really very rewarding program. It's very rewarding, and then you have on the other side, you have those elementary school kids, and when you are going there, and they welcome you, and they are so proud because they never see the piano from close. And, and they are starting with one finger, and then next year you are going to the school and they play already, maybe with one hand or with the 5 fingers, So this makes you, this is exactly, Michael, my entire life, I was working in corporations. I was working, in Polygram. Probably you know Polygram from the previous times, the biggest, record company. So Polygram, then Universal, then Philips Classics, etc., Virgin. And I was making somebody more richer and richer. And now for the first time, and this, since 15 years, I am giving back, and I feel so rewarded. I feel so happy when I'm going to those schools, when I see my young scholars, and this is something what I never thought I will witness, and this makes me probably so very happy person.
So I want to dig in now to this Keys of Inspiration program, where you've outfitted these piano labs with Roland. I have a Roland keyboard right over there, so love the electric instruments that they make. It's a beautiful piano sound. The question I would love to know is, you're building the curriculum. They have the headphones on, so they're able to play. What does the class look like? Are they able to move at their own pace as they, someone perhaps masters, 2 hands before someone else masters, just the 5 fingers? Do you give that kind of personalization? Are you helping teachers learn how to do that?
Yes. So this year we switched from Roland. We switched to another company, which I founded, which produced the smart pianos. So this is like kind of like a step up of this what we did, in the past few years. So the one piano, this is the name of the piano, the one piano, the smart piano, has integrated also a software. So now our classroom looks really like from 21st century. And I think kids love it, because, now kids are probably much more advanced than we are with all this telephone and play games and everything, So now every piano, every instrument has also a screen. And the screen is connected automatically to the piano. And in this screen, you have already the software, which is practically an animated curriculum, which we have created with Royal College of Music in Toronto. So it is kind of like, because they are kids, we are going to the second, third, fourth grader, they are kids. We want to make, and this is practically the philosophy of Lang Lang, and he wants always to make a happy children learning the piano. So he wants to make this happy moments when you are coming to the piano lessons. And by the way, the program in China, here we call Keys of Inspiration. In China, they call this program Happy Kids. So this is exactly, the philosophy. It is like the kids supposed to be happy when they play, when they learn. They don't know even when they learn and how they learn, right? Because learning by playing. And this is what we want. Of course, it is very serious curriculum. Of course, they are making the progress. Of course, it is, it is learning the music. And of course, this learning the theory. And, and this is what I said. I'm always saying they don't need to play Bach and Schumann. They can play also, John Legend and Beyonce, as long they know how to read their score, So this is exactly the case. And now they are sitting in this room. It is a beautiful, like picture when you are coming and you see those pianos with the screens. And then you have a main kind of like conductor is the teacher, and the teacher is connected to every single kid, and he see and he heard or she heard the progress of the kids, and you can individualize. You can say, Michael, you play this because I heard that you struggle with with the have not, right? And then, Mika will play, for example, something different because she's already a little bit farther than Michael, right? So they can also personalize this. And of course, you can also, make kind of like little bit show, and you take the headphones off and you can play for the entire class.
Wow. And so you learn a little bit of performance then.
Yeah, exactly. And the kids are very proud and very, they even with one finger, but they are very happy, to play, like.
Well, and they're making progress. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Let me ask this question, which is, I think I read somewhere that the classes, you all say that they should be twice a week or something like that. Is that what you've done in places like Boston? And how can we make that everywhere? Because at least when I grew up in my kids' school right now, I remember music class was once a week. If we're being honest, we didn't really learn much. It was more about exposure. It wasn't really about the learning. How do we get to where you all more systematically across our schools?
The 2 weeks is, of course, a dream, and I'm very, very proud because most of our schools, they have a 2 weeks program. So, why we started even this program and why we started even think about this program, right? It is because the first, and this the best, the first what is kicked out of the school is the music. When the principals, they had the choice, sport or music or something, always they will choose the sport, never the music. So this is why we say, this is really, it is a big need here in the country, and I realize not in this is not only the America situation. This is practically everywhere, and so to I have a very big sentiment to Boston because Boston practically was the born place of Keys of Inspiration, and. I tell you that very, very short. I was warning you that I'm talking a lot, Yeah. So, when we decided, and we were so excited, Lang and I, that we want to go to the public schools and bring our program and teach the music. Everybody laughed us out. Everybody. This was not even the best friend. Everybody said that we are crazy. And they said, you are Chinese, you are Polish, Austrian, you don't know what you are talking about. The public school system in America is so complicated. And every principal is like the king of the kingdom. And, you cannot do anything with them. Forget it. Why you are not making some, clubs or whatever, the kids maybe on Saturday can come. And I look at the Lang and I said, hell no, I don't want this. We had this. No, I want to go to the public schools. And then I was in Boston. He has a concert in Boston, and I met people from Boston Arts Academy. And Mr. Holt, and then, and I told them, I said, listen, this is my dream. This is a piano lab. We can build a piano lab. This will be crazy. This entire class is learning this with headphones and da. And they said, we love it. And they connected me with the Orchard girl, with Orchard Orchard Garden, yeah. This was our first schools in Boston, public school, elementary school, and they installed also a piano lab in the Boston Arts Academy. And this was for me, Michael, the moment when I started to believe in this program, because I said, when one school got it and making, then I will go and I will do really a lot. Nobody can stop me. And Ariela, my education director, she said me, 2 days ago that we just achieved 100 schools in America. We support 100 schools. So this it makes me really proud about this, and I'm really very happy about this. And we have 150 schools in China, and we expanded now the program to Europe. And so practically, and I'm always the conservative, mathematician. I'm always taking only the first 3 years. I'm not, some of the schools, they have already programmed for 10 years or for 8 years. So you can multiply this. But let's say today, on Friday, over 180,000 kids learning our program in different schools. So, from the first school in Boston, to those schools across the countries, it is something very special.
That's wonderful. Well, one of the times when you were in Boston, this is where I live, so I'm going to have to come with you and see this in person, because it just sounds amazing what you've created. And frankly, it sounds like a model, not just for music education, but in terms of the progress and delight for kids that all of their classes perhaps could learn from, and take some tips from how you've built this curriculum for each individual child and teacher, and support them all. It's really something.
Yeah, it is, and it is showing you also that you are on the right path. It is showing you there is a need. Somebody, I remember a few years ago, was asking me why we have only, let's say, 80 schools and not 800 or 8,000. And I'm saying, and I answer, and I said, listen, the program at least cost me $50,000 per school, right? We are bringing every equipment. We are bringing like 30 pianos, etc., etc. I said, if I will do like other foundations are doing and bring one keyboard to the school, I will have already 5,000 schools.
Right, but the impact would not be what it is.
Exactly. This is not what we wanted, So some other foundations, they are, they bring one guitar to the school and they said, oh, we support music education, right? But this is not what we believe. We at the Lang Lang Foundation, we believe really that it has to be a genuine teaching. This has to be a really taking seriously, and this is how we believe in this program.
I love it. Lukas, thank you so much for coming on The Future of Education to describe not just the commitment, but then the actual impact and the depth of that. And I think you've created a model that I hope a lot of folks learn from, and I'm excited to spotlight. So thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Michael, for inviting me. And if you want to have a talking companion, I am always for you.
Terrific. Well, we'll count on that next time you're in Boston. And for all of you tuning in, check it out online, learn more, and we'll be back next time on The Future of Education.